You're doing that jogging path in space, you know?
And then they launch the food from the center.
Yeah. Open your mouth, Greg.
Yeah.
Here comes a shrimp cocktail.
It looked like it had been deposited by a giant dog with square intestines, which I think
That's harsh.
is not wrong. Oh, that was a fun trip. Oh,
fun trip. Still got a headache from it. Yeah. Welcome to Hella Foggy, a podcast about the Bay Area.
I'm Greg, and he's Wayne.
We're two Bay Area natives from both sides of the bay.
Our podcast gets a little ranty.
A little sentimental.
Sometimes informative.
But mostly pointless.
Basically, it's just us trying to make sense of this weird place we love and call home.
So get a suit with Willie Brown at Wilkes Bashford.
And enjoy Hella Foggy.
Hey, Greg.
Hiya, Wayne. Hey, Wayne.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
We have a podcast, right?
We have a podcast.
What's our podcast about?
Are you saying like we should remind people what people are missing out on?
We should remind people what we just reminded them.
Okay. So I'm Wayne. This is Greg. We've been doing this podcast for a couple months now.
Yeah.
And we talk about growing up in the Bay Area, all the memories that we've had, all the experiences, and it's fun to share those stories.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we have interesting stories. We're interesting people, Wayne. We're bellwether individuals.
So you've told me. Yeah. Yeah.
People should pay attention to us. Don't you think?
I would hope so. Otherwise, it's just me and you listening to ourselves talk all the time.
Which is just a conversation, really.
That's true. That's what two people, when they talk to each other, is. So,
but we have IT problems on top of it. It's a conversation with IT problems.
Yeah, we have fun. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're an OG, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
All right. Let's do some take backs really quick. So what we like to do every episode, we actually take back some of the things that we talked about in the previous episode.
And we're really uninformed about what we're talking about, and we make stuff up. We're like ChatGPT in that sense, and we hallucinate things that we think are memories, but are not.
Yeah.
So we try to correct them.
Like, for example, there was a restaurant that we talked about, or a bar actually, that we talked about last week. Greg couldn't recall the name, but a listener named Hedgy commented on our Instagram channel. And the person let us know that the bar was actually called the Caribbean Zone, and it was on Natoma Street.
It was a restaurant.
Oh, it was a restaurant as well. Okay.
There was food being served.
All right. So that was that. The Caribbean Zone. It was an actual DC-3 was the plane. Not a, I believe you said DC-8, maybe?
I don't know.
DC-10.
It was an airplane.
It was an airplane, but it was a DC-3. And God, I wish I had gone there now. I'm going to take back one thing that we talked about, the House of Prime Rib, which again is my favorite English style steakhouse. Apparently it can be considered an English style steakhouse, but prime rib is not a steak. Prime rib is a roast. So
yeah. And I actually corrected you in the episode last week.
You said it wasn't on a steakhouse though, which thanks to Hedgy.
I'm gonna say that there's a name for an English style steakhouse, a chop house.
Chop house.
So I think it's closer to a chop house. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to say that I'm wrong.
Have you ever had a Sunday roast at one of those places in like England? It's lovely.
I've been to pubs in England, but I can't say that I had a Sunday roast. But I like Sunday roasts.
Mm-hmm. I'm not opposed to a Sunday roast. But Hedgy also mentioned Harris's in San Francisco is a
proper American steakhouse.
Exactly. Do you know the relationship? I thought it was part of Harris Ranch, but it's not.
I know.
But it's related.
Yeah.
It's the ex-wife of Harris Ranch down on the 5.
Interesting. So she has borrowed equity.
Borrowed equity, took the name, kept the name, and does not get meat from there, though. I think they're from the Midwest or something. Okay. One thing that we talked about last episode was the Mai Tai and where it came from. You had said that it was invented somewhere else, maybe Cleveland or something, you said. But it actually was invented in Oakland by Victor Bergeron, the founder of Trader Vic's.
Oh, okay. There we go. So see the Bay Area, big cocktail origin place.
Yeah, originator. Yeah. Mai Tai. Martini. Yep.
Well, that's 2 anyways.
Irish coffee.
Right. That's 3.
And a lot of beers.
That's right. Steam beer.
Anchor steam. Yep.
Yeah. And steam beer in general is a type of beer.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. And there's a couple IPAs in the area as well.
Gross.
I had mentioned a revolving restaurant in San Francisco at the Hyatt in Embarcadero.
Yep.
The name of the restaurant was the Equinox, and it closed in 2007.
Right.
The actual revolving, I guess, facility still exists now. They reopened recently. It's just the hotel's club now called the Regency Club.
Oh.
Fancy. But you can't go there as a restaurant anymore.
Oh. Well, I want to say that it stopped revolving like while we were young people.
It did for a while. And I think it's revolving again, but there was a good portion of time that it stopped for some reason.
Why is that? Why would that be desirable to be in a rotating restaurant?
I don't know. It's San Francisco. You get to see everything from Nob Hill all the way to
Oakland,
like the East Bay, Oakland, Alameda. You can see the bridges, Alcatraz, maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to move while I'm eating. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's moving that fast. You're not creating a gravitational pull.
I think you're actually pressed against the walls.
You're doing that jogging path in space, you know.
And then they launch the food from the center.
Yeah. Open your mouth, Greg.
Yeah.
Here comes a shrimp cocktail. Yeah. So there's that. But you know what's interesting? Something in the news recently reminded me because the Hyatt Regency is right next to Justin Herman Plaza.
Yep.
And there's a fountain there, which is, I think, very kind of iconic for San Francisco in the late.
Well, it's old. I mean, it was there. I fell in when I was a little kid.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
not that deep.
So Valancourt Fountain is the fountain there.
Yeah.
It opened in 1972, but it's about to get torn down. Actually, by the time this comes out, it'll have started. And there's these squares, right, that you can sort of kind of go under the fountain and through the backside of it, right?
Yeah.
And I would be terrified. I'd be holding my parents' hand, trying not to fall in. And apparently, I guess you did.
Yeah, the water was very murky and milky, so you didn't get a sense. It wasn't that deep.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you'd be allowed to do that. But when you're a kid, it looks like those things you're stepping on, they look like they're giant towers extending into the core of the earth.
Right. Yeah. You would think that, you can swim all the way to China or something.
Yep.
But no, apparently it's not that deep. And I guess in 1987, I don't know if you recall this, but I guess U2 had a free concert there.
I was there, Wayne.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It was weird. It was kind of cringy. I'll be honest, because at some point someone held up a sign that said SF loves you too. And that's great. Mm-hmm. San Francisco loves you too. But Sinn Féin is the political wing of the Irish Republican Army. So that's SF. So Bono started ranting because he thought it was a sign saying the IRA loves you too.
Oh boy.
Okay. So these poor teenagers are like, why is Bono yelling at me?
Oh my God. Oh,
so
that's hilarious.
So the Justin Herman Plaza, let's describe it because it's this brutalist thing, right?
Yep.
And it's these square pipes, I guess you'd call them, with very rough, crumbly, kind of stucco-looking edges.
I have a perfect description for it.
All right.
For those who have recently seen the movie Project Hail Mary, the character Rocky.
Yeah.
Imagine Rocky and his partner in partnership.
Oh, in coitus?
In coitus. And that's what this fountain looks like.
Sounds hot. I have to go watch that movie.
And there's water coming out of certain ends.
Well,
but yeah, that's what it looks like.
In the Chronicle architecture critic, I forget his name. He's when it was unveiled in 1972, he said it looked like it had been deposited by a giant dog with square intestines, which I think
that's harsh.
It's not wrong. It's but it was like charming in its ugliness.
I just remember it being very just significant.
Yeah.
Back in its heyday, right? There was a backdrop for it. Like it stood out. Now the attention goes to the ferry building because it's so majestic.
Right.
But before, you basically had the Embarcadero Freeway as a backdrop for it. That wasn't anything to look at, but the fountain was.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And the thing is, too, and then your note, so we operate off a shared document while we're doing this because we're very organized. And Bono, during the free concert, spray painted "Rock and Roll Stops the Traffic" on the fountain. And then they got in trouble. But it's U2, so it's yeah, okay, fine us. What if fine us $500?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It was cleaned up.
Yeah, I think he was. There was some sort of charge, and he had said it was a mistake or something at the end of it.
Yeah.
So you remember him spray painting and all that?
Yeah, I was 18.
No.
I think so.
And you were yeah, stops the traffic.
When was that? Do you, in your research, did you see what time of year it was?
It was November 11th of 1987.
Okay. All right. So it was my first year out of high school.
Yeah. I was in middle school still.
Oh.
A young pup.
Little Wayne. So Monty, we have a friend Monty.
Oh, Monty. Sure.
Yeah. Who worked with us in San Francisco in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I guess into the 2000s, right?
Late 90s, early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah.
He's originally from New York, from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then he moved out to San Francisco, and I think there was a lot of people that moved out to San Francisco during that time.
Yeah. So he asked an interesting question, and it got us talking about San Francisco in the 90s. Me and Wayne, that's when we met, and it was an interesting time to be in San Francisco. But Monte asks, how do we feel about transplants coming into San Francisco and seeking their fortune?
Those sunshine-seeking bastards. No, we're not like Idaho or Montana.
And that was the 90s. It was like a mini gold rush, right?
Essentially.
With all the .com nonsense.
Yeah, .coms in the late 90s was a huge draw. We have a lot of friends who are not from here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever thought ill of that. There may be some people that have, used the rise of, housing and as a reason to sort of not like the influx of additional people.
Yeah.
But for somebody that was born and raised in the Bay Area, I definitely never had any sort of hate or any negative opinion about people moving here. I thought it just made this area even better and more attractive.
Yeah, yeah. And I think too, growing up, even this is prior to .com nonsense, when it was San Francisco was a financial services hub.
Yeah.
And I guess a little bit of infrastructure. It, kids I went to school with invariably had, their grandparents lived in Chicago or something. I think the Bay Area has always been about transplant.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a second. Well, both my parents moved here in different times of their lives and then met here.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a first generation Bay Area.
Yeah. Yeah. So my dad, I want to say he was born in LA, but he was adopted. And so he grew up in San Francisco, and he grew up, I guess, I want to say what became the Castro. And this is before the Castro was the Castro. And his dad had a medical office, I want to say DuBose Triangle, that area.
Okay.
So, but my mom's immigrant. So yeah, she didn't grow up in San Francisco.
Yeah. So you're a first and a half generation.
Yeah. 1.5.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, we worked in an industry in advertising that was primarily, I think this is why Greg and I sort of gravitated to each other.
Yeah.
It was because we were one of, or two of very few native Bay Area folks at the place that we were working at.
Yeah. There was Joya was from the Bay Area.
Joya, Eric. maybe. And then that was about it. Everybody else it seemed like everybody had sort of made their way to San Francisco in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. It was just kind of neat to have this melting pot, not of like, ethnicities, but melting pot of origins end up in a place at a time in a culture that really allowed for it.
Yeah. It seemed relatively open.
Yeah.
And then currently, like, I don't think about transplants. Like, so many of my friends are from other places.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't even really think about it.
Yeah.
It almost to the point it's unusual to find someone who's native.
Yeah. Look what happens, 30 years later.
They start a podcast.
They start podcasts about all the stuff they've learned and done and experienced.
Right.
So yeah, the 90s were cool. Like what do you remember about the 90s just overall?
Man, there was such a crazy time in my life. Because I started the 90s working at a video store. And I ended the 90s married and owning a house. So a lot happened.
Yeah. It's a very, constructive decade.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know, like, how much of that decade in its vividness is because of what San Francisco was, or just that point in my life was crazy.
Yeah.
But the thing is like we touched on prior to the .com thing, there was still technology. There was Apple, of course, and Hewlett Packard and all that nonsense. So the Silicon Valley was already Silicon Valley, but it was not .com driven. It was hardware driven. And it kind of stayed down in the valley. And then with the .com thing, that's when San Francisco got transformed. So like in the beginning, my first ad job in San Francisco, my technology brand that I worked on was for a PCS company. And PCS was mobile phone technology before smartphones, before you could do anything on your phone. So there wasn't like the infrastructure now where, like, if you work at an ad agency, invariably one of the things you're going to work on is some kind of .com or some kind of IT brand. Back then, it was like it was weird because it was all happening locally, but it was happening so fast that it was alien to the people that were working on the businesses.
Yeah. Like you were making things up, right?
Yeah.
And they would exist for like a year. Or they would get a bunch of funding, right?
Yeah.
They would shoot their load on one big campaign.
Yeah.
And then if it wasn't enough, that company would be gone within like a year.
Yeah. And invariably, a lot of that money there'd be like a $200,000 party.
A launch party.
When they launch, and then in 6 months, everyone's laid off.
Yeah.
But it was like, it seemed like if you wanted to and you were desperate, you could find some insane launch party every weekend.
Do you remember... I forget whether it was like in 99 or 2000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you had a roommate who was a media guy, right?
Yeah. Matt.
And I remember because we had that connection to Matt, he knew all the parties that were going to be thrown this particular week. I think it was probably Mardi Gras week or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Cinco de Mayo week. But every .com was throwing a party. And, in hindsight, I think I called it this, and maybe a couple other people called it this. We just called it Free Beer Week. And like the memory of this, like there were 3 events, like every night, every day of the week. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we would just go party hopping.
Yeah. And it was like, but the thing is there was no like... There was no gatekeeping. Like anyone could show up to these things. It wasn't like, oh, we need to see your invitation.
Drop your business card in this bowl.
Just like looking for kegs is all. The willingness to look for kegs was all that was needed.
That was fun.
And just to explain, so our friend Matt, being a media guy, so within advertising, there's the media department, and the media department is the people that buy stuff. So they buy time on TV stations and work out like deals on websites and stuff. So because they spend money, they get like swag up the bum.
The schwazoo.
So it's cool to hang out with media people because they can
got the hookup.
They got the hookup.
Yeah.
They can get you the beer koozies.
Oh God.
But it was funny because it spilled over like that that culture spilled over into other businesses. So like our ad agency took us to Mexico. And we admittedly, and being an ad agency in San Francisco in the 90s was like you didn't have to pitch businesses because there were so many businesses.
Very lucrative.
Yeah. And so we weren't in that many pitches. We were just like, people would call. And I think we had a relationship or a couple of relationships with venture capital guys. So the venture capital guys would send business our way. So we'd come in on Monday and it's like, here's our new client. It was all weird stuff. Like, well, we had Amazon.
Yes.
That we fired because you could also do that back then. It's just fire clients because they're annoying. Amazon was annoying.
You're going nowhere.
Yeah.
Amazon.
No, but Amazon was already a thing. And so there was press about it. Like, oh, this little agency in San Francisco fired Amazon. Yeah. And so it spilled over. And so like we went on a trip to Mexico.
That was fun.
That was really fun.
I guess it wasn't my first agency, but it was definitely my first agency experience of excess.
Yeah.
If anything, Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's great to think back about those days. And I think we were very lucky.
Insanely lucky. Like to the point where I think we didn't realize how lucky we were.
Yeah. But great people in that time too. I think that's the thing that I always appreciated now more so than ever is like the people that we worked with were very genuine for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the management of the agency was very kind. And if you needed help, they could help you out.
Yeah. Generous.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And Greg's ex-wife was my manager. Awkward moment here.
Yeah. So you on the Mexico trip, you would work there for like a day.
Maybe
6 months.
6 months, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I joined in 98, I think.
Yeah. And then just to make it even more 90s, when we were in Mexico, it was announced that we won the Sun Microsystems account.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a big to do when we're in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun trip. Oh.
Fun trip. Still got a headache from it. Yeah. There's probably a lot of stuff that happened in Mexico that we couldn't get away with nowadays, but
I don't know. It's Mexico.
Oh yeah, it's a different country. What rules? Do what you like.
Yes, but under the blanket of corporate governance, yes, there'd be things that would have been discouraged.
Yeah. It's weird when you sort of bookend that, in my experience at least, right? Mid to late 90s was when I started getting into work and getting my feet under me. Is that the word?
Yeah.
But the beginning of the decade, for me, I was still in high school. So that happened and, I went to college and then, I had that. It's weird because I don't think of the 90s as like this super high point, but it was such a ride altogether. Like it was just like not a huge spike for me.
Yeah, when it's one of those things you have to list everything out. Like the thing I started with, the fact that I started at a video store and ended up married with a house. Like I kind of I've always known that, obviously, because it's my life.
Yeah.
But to put it in those terms, it was like, God, the 90s were crazy.
Yeah.
Like my first office job was at a publishing company. And I think that was even 93 or 94.
Okay.
And then I started as the receptionist. And that was another place. It was very groovy, very laid back. It's a company called Lonely Planet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they've changed a lot since I've left. But yeah, that was a fun place to work. Everyone was really young. The people that worked at the office all went out to New Orleans for Jazz Fest. That was great. And then
Lonely Planet was based out of the Bay Area? Or headquartered?
They were based in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so this was the North American office.
Oh, I see.
And I have to say, that job kind of set me up for adult life. Like it was so tremendous how it influenced where my life went, for good or ill. So that was my first office job.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you have a button-up shirt and a tie or anything?
Yeah, it wasn't really a tie place. It was Lonely Planet itself as a brand, especially back then.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty laid back.
Very laid back, backpackerish.
Right.
Groovy, hippie.
Did you wear Birkenstocks?
Which I'm not. Yeah. I'm not that. No, and so that was another thing. So I started there, and then in a year we're all going to Australia. And it's like, yeah. And then they're like, well, you're not going. But the whole office went to Australia for 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Talk about being left out. Did you work on your book during that time? Just like, I'm getting out of here.
No, they made me an editor.
Oh,
so I edited the Micronesia Guide.
Yeah.
So avoid the Micronesia Guide from 1994 because I edited it.
There was another one, right? I remember because I went backpacking in Europe.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't get the Lonely Planet book. I got the other one, the Let's Go.
Oh, yeah. That
was the competitor, right?
That's like the pretty standard one. And I think they had a better representation on college campuses, like college bookstores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But it was just a weird time in the Bay Area in general. Mm-hmm. Like the creative sphere was like really kind of powerful, and there was things to do all the time that were very weird.
I think the vibe, the thing that I sort of, now that we're talking about it, remember the most is just like there was no fear of trying something out, right? There was like, okay, we want to do this. Let's just try and do it.
Right.
Right. That entrepreneurial sort of attitude that any risk is surmountable,
Right.
So I think that was something that I really enjoyed and was fascinated by, is that sort of attitude of the 90s in the Bay Area was just like, yeah, anything's possible.
Like your example of the beer week. Mm-hmm. There was weirder things than the beer week. The beer week was still like, that was for the time corporate.
Yeah.
But there was stuff like critical mass. Do you remember critical mass?
Yes. I think we had a coworker that was involved. Yeah. Yeah, he was a bit of a hippie.
And then I had a coworker at Lonely Planet who was very involved, like
organizer,
and he's a very talented illustrator. So he would help out with like getting the literature published and stuff.
Yeah.
And so if you guys don't know what that is, critical mass was, and I wrote in it once, just a huge mass of cyclists taking over the city.
It would just go down market, right? Or
no, it changed changed the route every time. And it was supposed to be about the rights of cyclists within the city, and to try and show, cycling is an alternative to... Mm-hmm. But it got kind of rowdy and kind of
a little confrontational, maybe.
Yeah, like I remember the one time I did it was we were going down, and again, this is like 1,000 people, mm-hmm. all on bikes and kind of dressed crazy, and that aspect was fun. But then we blocked a funeral procession.
Oh, good grief!
I was just like, okay, this is not being helpful.
No.
So in that one, it was very controversial because people tried to get on the Bay Bridge, and they were going to try and cycle across the Bay Bridge to, I guess, Oakland.
Is that legal?
No.
I mean, to even ride a bike on the bridge?
No. So the CHP blocked entrances to the bridge, and it was very crazy.
Mm.
Man. And so there was also just weird performance art shows, like a survival research lab. Mark Pauline is the guy that would organize that. That was these shows that were usually in industrial lots, I'd call them. And they were these awful, giant, smelly junk robots that would destroy each other and blow flames. And
oh, wow.
And it was very dangerous. It wasn't like an organized thing. where the audience is sitting in bleachers. It was like you're standing there and there's this Mad Max robot shooting off giant balls of flame, and you're like and then the thing with Mark Pauline is I tried to shake his hand once, mm-hmm. and he doesn't have one.
Oh,
he has a ham hock.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay.
It's like gnarled mass because, things go wrong when you're building killer robots.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then so Survival Research Lab kind of got involved with like industrial music and that whole early 90s industrial scene, which is very different from like what we would call industrial now. Like it was really industrial and scary and loud and terrifying and like experimenting with like audio frequencies that cause problems in your body, that kind of thing.
Oh, I imagine like the guys from like Mythbusters being involved in that kind of stuff.
A kinder, gentler version of that. And this might be more into the 2000s, was the Maker Faire.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And the Maker Faire was like people making really cool, fun, interactive things and then just putting them on display so people could come check them out.
I mean, talking about like mechanical fire-breathing dragons and stuff, like, yeah, they'll make that and have it on display. It's really cool.
Yeah. And then there'd be art cars. That's where I first saw the Doggy Diner heads.
Oh, yeah.
Was on display but that was more like very much kid-friendly.
Yeah.
And that was kind of overlapped with steampunk a little bit. So there'd be these art cars that were these crazy Victorian mansions that you could go in, and they encouraged kids to participate and stuff.
Yeah. I remember taking one of my daughters there because it's right down here in San Mateo. So
yeah, right by the bridge, huh?
Yeah, by the San Mateo Hayward Bridge.
Right. But that was so what I loved about that, and maybe that's the case now. I don't know. I'm old and terrified of the outside world. But back then, there was always these collective activities where there wasn't an emphasis on commerce as much. It was like, just come and check out this weird thing.
Yeah,
that we're doing.
They're not making money off this. They just wanted to allow for there to be a forum. Right.
Yeah, and that's interesting because there was a lot of that, like in terms of like magazines in the Bay Area at the time. Like there was Might magazine, and there's the novelist Dave Eggers, who is like a respected postmodern novelist. But he had started a literary magazine called Might, and it was. Every time they put out an issue, they'd have a party because they thought it was the last issue.
That's pretty awesome.
So literally, I think most of their money went to the parties, and the parties were fun because there you'd meet weird people and interesting people and local writers and stuff like that. But they weren't fancy. They were just like at a bar, and you'd show up, and then anybody could come.
So did they ever get it right?
What, the magazine?
Did they ever make the party the last party?
Oh, eventually, yeah. I think they had like.
No, seriously, we don't have another issue coming out. This is it.
This is it. We were wrong before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they really did only have like 10 issues or something like that.
Okay.
And there was another magazine called Monk.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was based in San Francisco. It was these two San Francisco guys who had been boyfriends, and then they broke up. But then after they broke up, they bought an RV and decided to go travel. And so it was an early experiment in kind of remote publishing. Like everything was done on the road, and everything was done over, I guess, email. I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you upload stuff at that time? I don't know.
Yeah, put it on a floppy, basically.
Yeah.
Well, the other magazine, right? It's like the big one, at least, was Wired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Huge, right? And I mean, remember when the issues of Wired became like dictionaries? Like they were so thick.
They were thick, and it would take like a week to get through one.
Yeah.
And now they're like pamphlets, but back then they were like these, and they were beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they were beautifully designed, and people kept them as objects.
Right. They were an awkward size too. So I remember having to like lay out an ad for Wired, right? And it was the dimensions of Wired weren't the normal dimensions. It was like almost square-like.
Yeah, they were boxy.
Yeah, boxy dimensions, and it was just a little different. But yeah, a lot of people would keep all the Wired magazines because the spine of them, it'd be like a pattern color.
Yeah.
And then when you put them all together, it would create this collage of color and design patterns and stuff. So it was really fun.
Yeah, and they use like metallic inks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they probably lost money on every issue because it was like so well done.
But speaking of like, during that era, I don't know if this is necessarily Bay Area centric, but I think news on a online platform was in its infancy, right?
Yeah.
SF Gate became a thing in the 90s.
Right. And it was interesting because they didn't know how to do it. So everyone was making up different things. So it wasn't standardized. Right. And I think there was a lot more of a voice, an editorial voice.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is super vanilla now compared to what it was. Because it was so new that people were willing to try dumb things. So like Slate and Salon and stuff were huge.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to those anymore, or they exist.
Do they exist anymore? No, it was wild.
I do still go to the SF Gate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, back then, even in the 90s, right? I mean, we had our morning paper and evening paper still.
Yeah.
I don't know when the Examiner went out of business, probably in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, right?
Yeah. And it got really it just became a rag.
Yeah, like when Hearst sold to the Fangs, yeah.
The Fangs, yeah. I had to present to the Fangs.
You did?
Yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah, because they became a free publication, right?
Yeah.
Where you can just pick one up. But yeah, the interesting thing about like the way things were set up in the Bay Area, and this is, for a long time, right, was that you would pick up a Chronicle in the morning.
Yeah.
And that would be the news from overnight.
Yeah.
And then after work, they would have stands would be selling the evening paper, which was Examiner.
And the Examiner tended to have good columnists. I mean, the Chronicle had good columnists too, like famously Herb Caen.
Herb Caen. Yeah, we should do a whole episode about Herb Caen.
And Art Hop. So I had a letter from Herb Caen.
What?
Yeah, when I worked at Lonely Planet, it being a publishing house and it being prior to like ubiquitous online references, they had a lot of dictionaries hanging out. And so the American Heritage Dictionary 4th edition is an amazing dictionary. And so I want to say that was the in-house dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
This is deep Bay Area, actually. So you're looking through there, they have the little photos illustrating some definitions.
Yeah.
Right. And so you look under cello.
Okay.
And it's a picture of Dr. Dean Adele playing the cello.
Dr. Dean Adele, the radio guy, right?
Dr. Dean Adele in the 90s, and I think into the 2000s, was like, he was on Channel 4. He was like the
expert.
Hey, do you have headaches? Like he would be that guy, the health guy that they'd have on once a week on the news. And he'd be on the radio and he'd be blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he was very distinctive. He was very like tall, lean face with this mop of curly hair. It was unmistakable. And so it's like under cello, there's Dr. Dean Adele.
That's funny.
And so I wrote a letter to Herb Caen saying, you gotta have an American Heritage in your office. Edition 4, look up cello. That's Dr. Dean Adele. And so a couple weeks later, I got a letter.
That's amazing.
And it was from the desk of Herb Caen. Well spotted, Greg. That is Dr. Dean, isn't it? Sincerely, Herb Caen.
Oh my God.
And I don't know what happened to the letter.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
God, that's a frame-worthy letter.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Oh, and then Burning Man. So Burning Man, I don't know, does Burning Man exist anymore?
I think so. I have a couple of coworkers that go every year now. They took a little hiatus during COVID, but they're back up and running. So, but yeah, it started in the 80s at Baker Beach, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually moved out to Nevada.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
But that was such a, especially in the early 90s, mid 90s,
mm-hmm.
before now it's very corporate, but back then it was still like counterculture and weird.
Yeah.
But it was starting to be like a .com related thing.
Yeah, that loses the edge or the specialness of it. Yeah.
Everybody knows what Burning Man is, but if you don't know, it's this thing in the Nevada desert where it's called an intentional community, and for like 2 weeks or something. All these people in RVs show up and camp in the desert, but build art projects and take drugs and shoot guns in the desert and just that kind of thing. That kind of crowd.
Now it's sponsored by Lysol sanitizing wipes.
Yeah. But it attracted, like, I think early on it attracted a lot of the people that were involved with like the bicycle thing we talked about before, like that kind of thing, like these collective acts.
Yeah, a lot of grassroots stuff, right, in the 90s.
Yeah. And so people go out to the desert and do crazy stuff, take drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
But then it became like, oh, I'm a CEO or I'm a executive creative director. And so,
but 2 weeks out of the year, I get dirty.
And then there's a person that we know in common, Wayne.
Yeah.
And as I tell the story, you're going to figure out who.
Okay.
So she had interviewed at a hot design group, a digital design group.
Okay.
Digital was still separate from design.
Yep.
Like it was a subspecies within design. And it went well. Then she went to Burning Man and they had a mud pit. And everybody was nude in the mud pit. And I think she might have been on chemicals. And she...
Was this...
Well, we weren't going to talk about that because she's not here. It might have been... I don't know, Wayne. But let's make it not about...
Okay, all right.
And we have editorial capabilities here, I'm sure.
All right, you let me know.
So in the mud pit, and then someone calls her name and she turns around and the guy that interviewed her was in the mud pit.
That's hilarious.
And they talked business, nude in a mud pit.
Did she get hired?
Like we're still figuring stuff, like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Like that HR talk, but instead of like running into them at Whole Foods or at the gym, you're nude in a mud pit.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of thing. And I think that's a good story because it reflects like that transition, that inflection point between being just anarchic and crazy and the corporate creep is starting to start.
Yeah. We'll redact the name of this person.
All right.
Maybe we'll just bleep it.
Yeah, just bleep it.
Yeah.
But also,
that's awesome.
Speaking of corporate, I do remember like to get a job was so easy.
I mean, they were handing them out back then.
Yeah,
right?
I turned down so many jobs, which now I wish that was the case. But then I was turning down jobs. Yeah. And one of the things was there was a .com and I got, and it was always like, everyone's like, I'm taking a long lunch because everyone was interviewing all the time. Everybody. The receptionist was interviewing. So everyone would have these like, I'm going to step out for 45 minutes. And everyone knew where you were going. Yeah. And so I was like... literally a junior copywriter, and I got interviewed for a creative director position at a .com. It's not one that exists anymore. It's like one of the stupid ones that went away.
BillyGoat.com.
It was something like that. And so literally, like, I went and talked to the woman. She's all, look, you'll be in charge of 20 people. It was like, right now it's just me, but we're hiring like crazy. Like,
we see a lot of potential in you.
Yeah.
Lead this.
And she was like 2 years older than me. And I was like 25. So by the time I get back to the office, there's a message for me.
We know what you've been doing.
No. It was the lady.
Oh.
She offered me the job.
Oh, wow.
It's like, I was kind of creeped out because how quickly she called. But their offices were on the water. Like they had funding.
Yeah. They
were on the Embarcadero. And
and now the company is called Google.
No, it's not called Google. It's called Furlease, I think is what it's called. That's what the sign says.
That's what the sign says. Yeah. It's at an angle.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you didn't take the job though?
No, I didn't. And sometimes I wonder, I don't know. It probably would have lasted 5 months and then I'd have to look for another job.
Well, so, like we said, they're handing them out.
We covered how I started my decade. How did you start your decade?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned that I was still in high school for the first couple of years of the decade.
Yeah.
I went to San Jose State for a year, and then I transferred to San Francisco State.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, the 1 year at San Jose State, something cool happened where somebody was campaigning to become president at that time.
Oh, geez.
And it was a huge mass of people.
Yeah.
And I remember standing all the way in the back and hearing Bill Clinton talk.
Oh,
as he was campaigning. I guess that would have been 1992.
Yeah.
Fall of 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. And then I went to San Francisco State. Some really amazing, history of San Francisco State and just the activism that came out of it.
Yeah, it's an underrated school. It's a very vibrant, interesting place.
Yeah, and now that, we're doing the podcast and we research, a lot of either celebrities or people of importance, a lot of people have gone through and graduated from there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Including me.
No, look at it, the most interesting.
But yeah, so did that, obviously, ended up in our industry. But one of the things that, as my career started, I realized that, especially in the mid to late 90s, I felt like tech wasn't untouchable anymore, right?
Yeah.
People had it, they had access to it. People used it in their everyday lives. It became part of the language of the world.
Right.
In terms of even Tech TV or ZDNet back then.
Right. Oh my God.
There was a network dedicated to just nerding out on tech.
We had them as a client.
But it's such a thing now. It's part of everybody's language now. All the stuff they used to talk about, it becomes second nature now. Everybody has a device, has a phone, and can install apps and do semi-IT stuff on their own.
Yeah.
But before then, it's you needed specialists. You need people to help set you up with stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think the transition to a culture that accepted it and embraced it and became one with it and not embarrassed about it, right?
Right.
Oh, no, I'm not a tech nerd. No, everybody is sort of a...
You have to be. That's just part of the currency of being a modern person.
Yeah, it's the price of admission now, right?
So our friend Max wrote one of the funniest headlines in the world for Tech TV.
Oh, yeah?
It was, find out how to clean mouse balls. And it was for a banner. I love that.
Oh, I miss Max.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening somewhere.
Oh, Max. I guess what we're trying to say is the 90s were a very fun time. And not just for us, but for
a lot of people.
For a lot of people in the Bay Area.
The 90s were amazing. Definitely a lot of cool experiences.
Yeah, it was just you could walk outside your door and something would happen.
Yeah, and it was just part of being here.
Yeah.
All right, Greg.
Well, Wayne, I got something to ask our listeners.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm looking for a job. If anyone needs a copywriter, creative director, something like that, I'm available. But you can contact me on Instagram. You can email us at hellafoggypodcast@gmail.com.
Please contact Greg. He's an amazing talent.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah. But beyond the ways to contact us, you can listen to us on all your podcast platforms. So if you want to recommend us to your friend, just let them know the name and they can find us anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. And feel free to give us a rating, give us some feedback, comments.
And do comment, because we're very aggressive about responding to comments, because it's free content for us and you'd be doing us a huge favor.
You'd be doing everybody a huge favor by suggesting some topics. This whole episode was sort of spurred upon by a simple comment from our friend Monty, who had lived here in the Bay Area for a couple years in the late 90s, early 2000s. And thanks, Monty.
Thank you, Monty. See, he's one of our contributors. And all he did was ask a question.
Yeah. And he said it nicely.
Unlike some of you.
Yeah. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend, Greg.
Thank you, Wayne.
And thanks, everybody, for listening to episode 14. It's now in the can.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, God. What about the Santas?
The SantaCon?
Yeah.
Is that when it started?
I think so. So SantaCon is just people dressed as Santa, drunk, walking around downtown during the Christmas season.
Being belligerent.
And yelling at people. Yeah. That's the most beautiful thing I can think of. That's so good. That's San Francisco in the 90s right there.